everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Take us, of course, to continue the journey of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. This is Season 2, Episode 30. Of course, for not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode, the more I kept thinking about it, I really enjoyed the episode when I first watched it, but the more I kept thinking about it, I'm like, this is just a really damn good episode. Like, I started to enjoy it more and more and more, and I actually went back to watch certain clips. I really enjoyed how they progressed and played that episode out, because I honestly thought it was Ben's nightmare dream sequence, whatever, that creature that landed on his head. It's actually albedo, right? The big reveal. Now he's trapped or whatever. It was such a cool way how they kind of handled it. Wish there was more villains in the mix in terms of what Ben was seeing and everything, like, Vilgax, of course, and then later on you see Hex and everything for like a small bit. Wish there was more of that, but at the same time, I understand, like, if you just kept adding more villains, it would be like a huge long episode. It'd be like just too much, but at the same time, would have been cool. But yeah, so we're getting closer. Like, after this episode is the 2-part finale of Ultimate Alien, and then we're done. It's crazy to think that we're almost done with the 3rd show out of the 4 in terms of this continuity. Like, it's crazy how far we've come. I also want to give a quick shout out to Darren, who I've had on Council Creators, and mainly, as you guys probably know, the Ben 10 live streams I've done on the channel with Kaisept, myself, and Darren. And Darren had me on his I think it's called the Pipeline podcast. Yeah, the Pipeline. I was almost flubbed there, like, whoa, it's been a long day today. But he had me on there, and we were ranking tier list all of the Ben 10 classic episodes, and I'll have that live stream linked in the description if you guys want to go check it out. It was really cool to chat classic, because to me, it's still my favorite Ben 10 show that I've seen so far, and so it was really cool for him to invite me on, and we did that. And maybe we'll do something like that later on down the road. Maybe Alien 4, someone suggested it, who knows, but it was really cool to be on there to chat some classic Ben 10. So make sure you guys go check that out if you haven't already. So I'm ready to dive into this episode, guys, see what happens. We're getting, like I said, close to the finale. Like, after this, the 2-part finale, so I'm not sure what to expect. Let's dive into it now, guys. Let's see what they show us. Let's go.
Another 10 minutes.
Sure.
It's not like you even need to turn your car into a submarine. Sealing up my car and making it submersible, someday
until it
all
crashes
this
and breaks
work is gonna
again.
save our lives.
Oh my god.
10 minutes?
They're everywhere. Holy crap.
At least we're not bored
Ooh.
anymore.
I like that title. There you go, slam them together. Wow. How many of them are there? What?
Start talking.
Yeah.
You don't scare me. I've got nothing to say. What is that horrible thing?
You can answer some questions.
What's it gonna do to
Why
him?
are you here? What are you up to? Thought you were gonna give George a chance.
He had his chance. It's been 2 weeks. Let me get my rebreather.
Second time they've done the long extended transformation sequence. Walking backwards.
He is coming. We must destroy the seal. Forever Knights. Our
Holy
time
shit.
has come. Together we shall slay the dragon and save the very earth. This I swear.
It's a lot. Holy crap.
We get in there, I turn into something or other. We defeat the Esoterica before they can free Dagon.
It's an all-out war. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I had to pause because this is insane. I honestly can't remember any other time before now that Ben 10 has done something to this scale in terms of this many characters fighting. Now I know they're faceless characters, Forever Knights, and these whatever, like these guys or whatever whatever the name is, not important. But the amount of them fighting, it's crazy how much is going on here. It's an all-out war. We've seen similar stuff to this in certain instances when it makes sense, but never to this scale. It's insane. Holy crap. Oh my god, dude.
Forward to the cavern of the seal.
I'll protect you, sir.
No, you won't. Just landing in the middle of the fight. Why?
It's Ben 10. Destroy him.
We're here to help.
Die. Okay.
Had a feeling this would happen.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Really? When?
Come on, figure it out. Ooh. There you go. Ben, what are you doing? Ben, come on, dude. Transform. They just keep coming. Oh, that was good. Kamehameha! That was good. Like that, this shot is insane. Insane. Just mowing through him like nothing. Dang, he just knows.
There. The seal lies just beyond.
No one but you.
He almost killed him. What? What? He's dead too? He just killed two people. Back to back.
Squire Winston.
You are nothing. Less than nothing.
Fight me!
If battle you seek, so be it. Now reborn in my power.
Oh my god. Holy shit, dude.
I am Vilgax. I have witnessed the power of Dagon.
It looks like it.
You have earned your demise at my hands.
What is that? Nothing. Nothing. He's still trying. Ah!
Enough.
It's like a spirit bomb.
That's better.
And they're leaving. Okay.
You're too fast.
Fast, huh?
Fast track. Ah, God.
There, over there, in front of me.
Hey, it's working at least.
Your other left.
I'll admit it's an interesting sequence, but okay.
It's the last of them.
I'm just gonna punch our way through. Oh. Yeah, okay. Alright, cool. Here he comes. Yeah.
You've been my greatest adversary.
Yes.
It's only right that you should be here at my moment of ultimate triumph.
He and his master must be destroyed.
Yes, but you're walking into a trap. Oh, oh. What is this? What is this? The Temple of Dagon? Okay. All right. Like they're like, what the hell? And the whole Vilgax. This dude Vilgax, man. I don't even know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Normally I cut this shit out. We're just gonna keep it in. Fuck it. I just don't care. Yeah. So this episode, man. Crazy. Am I centered? Yeah, we're good. All right. Yeah, wow. Okay. So the beginning of the end, at least for this arc, because we still have another show, obviously. But so the main thing is that it's all-out war, which I paused in during the episode when we had those like big shots of just this all-out war with so many characters. Obviously, they're covered up and there's no faces, but there's just two sides to this war who are trying to kill Dagon, and the one saying, no, you're not. No, we bring forth him. We bring him forth to the world. And it is insane, the scale. I already mentioned this, but it's just insane, the shots they were pulling off in this episode with the amount of action going on. I will say the one thing, actually two things technically, that I think kind of made the episode not as like great as it could be, because this is a great episode, but I think it could be even better. Two things with them doing, and I notice it at times with Ben 10, especially Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, whenever Ben hits the watch and you see the extended scene and he's floating and circling around, and he does the little, like pulls his body together, like the little, the movement, this movement, and then he starts transforming. When they do that very extended scene of like, you know, the animation and then the spinning around, it's because they're trying to save on time, because they actually need to extend, not save, they need to extend to a certain runtime. They don't have enough to fulfill the runtime they need to go to air, right? Because they air on Cartoon Network. They did that twice in this episode, and they did two kind of mini but also lengthy transformations. Because there's a lot of times where Ben hits the watch and boom, he transforms automatically into the alien, right? But then there's times where they do that huge long extension, the floating and the crouching and then the transforming. He did it twice, and then he did it twice again later on, where it's not that full extension, but it's still where he's transforming into Goop and Fast Track. And earlier it was the long extension of Clockwork, and then the first time was his transformation into Forearms. It just showed that I think they could have found ways to extend some of the story and some of the moments so that we didn't need those two long extended transformations, and then kind of the shorter but also extended transformations instead of an instant. They could have found a way, I think, story-wise, or some more moments between characters to extend it and for it to fulfill the runtime. So that's something I was like, it's like, because 4 of those, wow, because 2 and 2, like, it's crazy, right? That's just like, wow, they definitely needed more time. Like, they needed to add time to hit the air. Like there could have been more stuff they could have done. And the second thing is Ben, Kevin, and Gwen, for a good portion of the episode, just fighting random faceless characters, especially during the war sequence. Why they land the flying rust bucket in the middle of the fight, who knows? Ben's an idiot. Because they could have found a way to maybe make it make sense to where they're not just landing there randomly just to fight a bunch of random Forever Knights. So maybe they get shot down or something, and they have to land somewhere far away from where George is, and where the new Vilgax, who's now been taken over, basically has been reborn from New Dagon. They could have found a better story-wise than just been like, just land in the middle, trust me. So, but I know, because Ben was thinking, hey, we could work with Forever Knights, we're on their side. It doesn't matter. These Forever Knights are going to run after Ben 10 because he's the enemy. He's the villain, right? He's the villain in their eyes. So, could have found a way to make make more sense for him to be far away. Now, I will say though, seeing this new, because I'm looking at an image right now before I turn into just me, that shot of George standing next to the new reborn Vilgax. Interesting. I think the design is odd color-wise. But man, he's got some insane new, like, electrical and like some sort of energy-based powers. And his eyes are purple as well. Like, I think it's like red teeth or whatever whenever he's talking. Let me see if I can find a shot of him. Like, yeah, like red, just straight up red teeth, or red, like, it's like, it's crazy. But I think it shows that Dagon has whoever. I want to see what Dagon actually looks like. They better show me, because they tease this like castle thing at the end. They better show me who the fuck Dagon looks like. I need to see what he actually looks like. I really hope they do. But man, oh man, it's bizarre. But Vilgax is a guy who, like, to hear him say the words he's saying in this episode, because you look back on Vilgax, like, saying classic, which recently did when I mentioned in the intro with me talking with Darren and going over the classic Ben 10 episodes and ranking them and discussing them. It brought me back to thinking more on that original Vilgax and some of the original stuff they did in that show and how they've changed some stuff over time. That original Vilgax, man, he thought he was Dagon. Like, he thought he was on that kind of level in terms of being this, like, god or whatever, or this almighty being. And now to hear Vilgax now, who's been reborn from Dagon, to hear how he's speaking and all this stuff, it's like throwing me off, man. But he's very powerful. And also, we kind of got a timeline in a bit in this, because Gwen openly has to, and they have to address this because of the fact that it's been a number of weeks since we had heard anything about, or at least in terms of when I've been watching the show, it's been a number of weeks since we even discussed Dagon or anything. It's been a couple of episodes. So they have to address it for any kid who's watching that's keeping up with the show live when it was airing, for Gwen to go, well, I thought you were letting George take on Dagon. Like, we have to make sure that's addressed to a point, because Ben did say he was going to back off. Yeah, but it's been 2 weeks. Okay. It's been 2 weeks, apparently. So now we have so what all happened in between timeline was of when he backed off versus, 'cause I watched in production order, but I don't know what timeline wise. I don't know. I guess a number of things were occurring that Ben just kind of forgot about the whole Dagon thing, and he's gonna let he was backing off, right? But still, you still could have been talking about it or like thinking about how's that going? How's that whole Dagon thing going with George and everything and the seal? We saw 2 deaths in this episode. 2 deaths. I should have mentioned this earlier. I really should have, because it's something that's very significant. We had discussed before when it was it's considered the darkest episode, I think, of Ben 10 so far, because people were kind of saying this is the darkest episode of Ben 10 of all time, or this is one of the darkest episodes they've done that you've seen. I don't know to the full extent of what people kind of land on it, but we were actually hearing and seeing death, and like the whole, the vet in the freezer and everything, and he kills a guy on the side of a road, that whole thing. But in this, literally, that, I forget his name, but he's the guy who kind of runs that cult. He gets stabbed by the sword. And then the squire dies. Back to back. They both die. Insane. Obviously, they found a way to kind of hide it. But, I mean, the squire got hit with that electrical beam or whatever, that kind of blast. And he just couldn't survive. He just dead. And then, right before that, the guy who actually killed him, he gets stabbed by the sword. And I think you hear the sword going. I'm not really sure. But, man, it's clear as day he's dead. Clear as day. And the way George was talking about the squire. You died like a knight. You died being a knight. A forever knight. It's like, okay. And your death will not be in vain or whatever. Like, so it's clear, yeah. Deaths. A show that did not do that before. They may imply it at points, like, early on. But, man, they never actually really showed it. Now they're showing it. And I'm wondering if it's because Cartoon Network was allowing it, or they always did. It's just that the show wasn't ready to get to that point yet. Now, with Cartoon Network, there's things you cannot do. Clearly, things you cannot do. But I'm wondering if they were allowed to get around it and skirt around it before, but they chose not to until maybe their audience got a little older. Because the idea is, if you're watching Alien Force, you're watching Ultimate Alien, and you started live with Ben 10 or started around the time when that show aired, a number of years later, you're an older audience, right? And if that's the case, they can start going a little darker, which is what they did, because Alien Force and Ultimate Alien did get darker with their storylines. There were things that they've done in this show and Alien Force, you could not do in Classic because it's too dark, because that was the foundation, the start of the franchise. There were certain things they did that were kind of dark in Classic, for sure, but not to the level of what they're doing now. So I'm surprised that they're showing death, or implying it before, now we're showing it. But I get it. It's an older audience that's watching the show. And I think at this point, if they did a Ben 10 animated series that's not in the reboot shit they did, which apparently is more kiddie friendly and more of the kid, like a younger audience kind of audience they're trying to go for, that I think an animated show now would probably be tailoring towards an older audience, and having those darker elements like this. I think that's what they would probably do if they were to bring the show back. So besides my little critiques, like I mentioned earlier, I really had a good time with this episode. A lot of crazy action. It's really setting up some insane stuff. Man, I got to see Dagon. You got to show me. That's the thing. You had to show me Dagon. Crazy Vilgax stuff, and overall, it was great. Another great episode of Ultimate Alien. And it's crazy to think next 2 weeks is part 1 and part 2 of the series finale of Ultimate Alien, and then we jump to Omniverse. It's crazy to think how far of a journey I've come, and you guys have been following along on the journey. I do appreciate and thank you guys so much for that. And yeah, and people are obviously going to ask, you're doing part 1 and part 2 in one video? No, I'm not. Because for me, I want to take my time with it. And I mean, I may record them back to back, but I'm not going to release them at the same week or the same episode or same video. I'm not doing that. So I may record them back to back, but I'm not going to be uploading them together or whatever. Like, no. Gotta let it breathe. Gotta let it breathe, guys. Can't change the upload schedule. Come on now. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this episode of Ultimate Alien. Whatever thoughts you have, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.